See how we're looking outside this morning. Oh, a little bit moody and very windy. Welcome back everyone. You joined me back at the Spittal of Glen Muick here in the Cairngorms National Park. Today I'm going to be walking the whole way around Loch Muick and wild camping on a Victorian royal estate. Come along for the adventure. So the plan is to make my way all the way around this loch that you can see here. It is pretty big and I'm not too sure where I'm going to camp. Maybe somewhere behind the trees that line the shore, but that is a pretty good view to start off the video. So I'm not too sure if there's any restrictions for camping in this area. It is owned by the king, so there's maybe certain places that you're not meant to go to, but I'm just going to make my way around the loch and see if I can find a good spot. And who knows, I might have to stealthily sneak my tent in somewhere, but that's fine. And the king might show up, especially when he smells what I'm cooking. Actually, that'd probably turn him off. He'd probably run off scared when he smells my cooking. But that is pretty cool. And I tell you what, I don't know if it's just because of the way the sun is shining down on the loch, but that is something else. I mean, what a view. I think I'm going to go round this left-hand side first. Don't know if you can make out the path just there. What a view though. What a start. What a place. Right, let's continue on. I'm sure there's plenty more good views to come. I've just come across an unbelievable camp spot. Wait till you see this. I mean, look at this. Perfectly flat grass and the perfect view. Unfortunately, I've only been walking for about 1 kilometre, or I would seriously consider that spot, because that view is something else. And it's also not the stealthiest, so someone would definitely be able to spot my tent. So I think I'll just continue on. I think I want to at least make it about halfway round before I think about stopping. So all the way over there. Still got a good distance to go. I think I might have spotted the perfect spot, but it still looks like it's quite far away. So I'm thinking that cluster of trees in the distance on the right hand side of the loch. That looks perfect. I should hopefully be able to hide my tent in there. I'm actually quite high up now in comparison to this loch. Maybe like 20 or 30 metres, if I had to guess. Look at that view, by the way. I just have to point that out. That is something else. But yeah, hopefully I drop down closer to the shore. I'm sure I will further along. What is this up here? It looks like there's a waterfall. Looks pretty cool. Oh, this looks pretty impressive. Little bridge here. And here's the waterfall. Wow. That is really nice. And I think my questions have been answered. There's 2 paths here. One going up to the left, which is incredibly steep. You can see a few cyclists heading up there. Glad it's not me. Instead, I'm taking this one to the right and heading down to the shore. Let's do it. So apparently I'm doing the Loch Muick circuit. I had no clue that it was a proper route people did, but apparently I'm doing it. Makes sense, to be fair, just all the way around Loch Muick. And that is really good news, because it means there should be a pretty well-defined path the entire way round, which is the best news that I've heard today. Yeah, I can get behind this path. This is not too bad at all. And actually it looks like there's some really good camp spots just down there, and the sun is shining on it as well, just drawing me in. But I'm going to continue further round to that forested bit. It's just a little bit more sheltered. And there is Loch Muick. Someone count how many times I've said Loch Muick, but it is mightily impressive. Wasn't expecting that. I almost lost my bag to the bushes there. Just about scraped my way through. You do need to watch where you're putting your feet here. There are some slippy old rocks. Oh wow, that has really opened up. That's my first view of the estate house, just over the other side of the loch there. It's in that forest that I'm thinking about camping, and I can see quite a few people over there. It must be quite a popular spot, but it is absolutely huge, so I'm sure I'll manage to find a good spot. I'm almost halfway around the loch now. Doesn't look like I've got too much further to go. Here we are. This is the end of the loch, and I think I'm just going to take a moment to appreciate this view. Look at that. Not too bad, is it? I am having way too much fun crossing these little bridges here. I don't know what it is, there's just something about it, it's so satisfying. Oh, look at this, this is the coolest one yet. Yeah, make my way around first without getting wet feet. There we go, look at this. Little stepping stones. And then the little bridge over there. That is so cool. This is by far the best way to cross a river. Well, that was good fun, but it's actually getting late and I need to find this camp spot. It's now just a case of me heading round the other side of the loch and then into that forest. This is a cool wee entrance. Let's head in and see if we can find somewhere to pitch the tent. Well, this spot here looks absolutely perfect. It's fairly flat and there is a very nice view. Let's get the tent up before that sun goes down. Always nice to get the big heavy pack off. Get this tent out. I'm actually going to move this a little bit closer to the shore, I think. The ground here is a little bit too hard for the pegs. There we go. That is absolutely perfect. Well, that is me all pitched up, and what a spot, by the way. There's hardly a breath of wind, and it is just such a peaceful area. I think I've picked a pretty good camp spot, I can't lie. I mean, look at this. Genuinely, what a spot. I'm actually so close to the edge, but hopefully it won't rain overnight, or I might get flooded. But look at that view. Can't get much better than that. I've only got about half an hour until sunset, so I think I'm going to get all the stuff inside my tent ready, and then a little bit later on I can make some food. So for dinner tonight I have got a full breakfast pack. I'm probably not going to eat it all, but I am so excited for this. Got some brown sauce and some rolls. Nice and simple. And that is not a bad view to make your dinner to. Right, let's get these bad boys on. I am ravenous. I think I'll go for Lorne sausage first. Ah, listen to that sizzle. Unreal. You know what? I'm feeling chubby. Let's get some black pudding on the go as well. Why not, eh? There we go. Oh man, I'm so hungry. I always do this. My eyes are always bigger than my stomach. But, oh well. When in Rome, or when in Glen Mick. Just ignore the fact that I've already slightly burnt that sausage on the right. We'll just forget about that. Look at that though. What a place to make dinner. Right, a rolling sausage with black pudding. Look at this absolute monstrosity. And I've just dropped brown sauce on my boots. That's not ideal. But let's give this a wee taste test. That is unreal. And it's actually quite cold outside as well. So this will definitely warm me up. Well, you will never believe it, but I've somehow munched my way through that entire breakfast pack. I definitely feel chubby now, and I should, because that is an insane amount of food. 2 lots of square sausage, 2 link sausage, and 2 black pudding. An absolute feast. Gonna be in a food coma. But before it got properly dark, I had a wander over to the big estate house, which I believe was built in 1868 for Queen Victoria, and is now owned by King Charles. And it's quite a cool building. It's absolutely huge, and there was maybe 10-15 people camping outside of it, so I didn't really hang around there for too long, but it was still pretty cool to see. Let's have a look outside. I believe it is pretty dark now. Yep, can't really see anything out there. I'm actually pretty tired. I could probably fall asleep right now, but before I do fall asleep I'm gonna have a wee look around outside, see how it's looking. Need to be careful I don't fall in this loch, because I am right on the edge. This is my tent here, and that is the water. Let's hope I don't sleepwalk outside my tent tonight, or I think I might get wet. Can't really see too much, to be honest. Here's the trees that I'm surrounded by, and off in the distance, that glowing light is the moon. It's only about 8:15 right now, but I'm actually pretty tired. I think I might just get an early night, to be honest. Can you hear that? That is deer rutting. That is insane. It sounds like a bear. But anyways, yeah, I'm pretty tired, so I think I'm just going to get an early night, and I will see you in the morning. See how we're looking outside this morning. Oh, a little bit moody and very windy. Shut this up. Yeah, it really is moody this morning. It's just so dark. It almost feels like the sun isn't up, but it is. I think it came up about half an hour ago. Anyways, I'm pretty hungry and I've got one of these little brunch bars for breakfast, so I'm just going to enjoy this and enjoy that view for a wee bit. Well, I have just been chilling out for a wee bit and I'm actually really cold. Flippin' heck. That wind is insane. That's why it feels so cold. It's probably only 11 or 12 degrees Celsius, which is not that cold, but the wind just makes it feel bitter. I'm actually so happy with this spot. Man, that wind is crazy. But yeah, it's such a lucky find. Right on the water. I am in the splash zone, which you might be able to see on the other side of my tent. Look, a little bit wet. But apart from that, it was a great spot. And look at that view. Something else. Always the worst part of the trip, having to pack away the tent. But, oh well, needs to be done. Oh, holy moly, this wind is insane. It has really picked up in the last sort of 15 minutes. It's absolutely blowing a gale out here. But what a spot. Look at that. Something else. Right, I'm still in the splash zone, so I think I'm going to get moving. Really couldn't have asked for a much better camp spot there. That was absolutely perfect. And it wasn't actually too windy throughout the night. It's just this morning that it's picked up. So I must have got a solid 8 hours of sleep. And I'm feeling rejuvenated, ready for another day of exploring. Actually, before I head, I'm going to go back and make sure I've left no trace. Can't be leaving anything out here. I'm sure someone else will want to use this spot. Can't see anything. That's where I was camping right there. Some view. Right, I think we're all good. Let's continue. Here's the big Victorian building I was talking about. That is really cool. It is absolutely huge. I mean, look at the size of that. Imagine owning that. It's just one of their houses as well. Pretty cool. I don't know if the royals ever come and stay in this house, but I'd imagine they'd have to shut off this whole area. I don't think they'd let me camp if King Charles was in this house. It is absolutely huge though. So cool. What a location for a casa as well. I'd imagine they would have planted all these trees when it was built. Look at that. That is really cool. Right on the shore of the loch. Beautiful. Right, I'm heading in this direction. Let's go. It's weird, I could have swore I saw a few people camping just outside the big house. Maybe it was the ghost of Queen Victoria out in her Hilleberg. Must have just packed up nice and early. And the wind has completely died down. I think it's just all these trees are blocking the wind from getting to me. But can't complain about that. Here's this wall again. This must mean I'm leaving the boundary of the estate house, which means I'm leaving the trees as well. It's just so nice in there. Classic Cairngorms. And then you've got Loch Muick, looking beautiful. I'm just going to be following the shore of the loch again to get back to my car. So I think I'm just going to end the video here. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I managed to find an amazing spot to camp. And the circuit around the loch is definitely worth doing. If you've enjoyed it, then feel free to like and subscribe. It's completely free. If you want to support the channel a little bit extra, then you could consider becoming a Patreon or subscribing to my YouTube members thing, whatever it's called. I'll leave a link in the description anyways. But that's going to be it from me, and I will see you on the next adventure.